Alright, what's going on, guys? Tis Juan, and I know I haven't been uploading as frequently as I would like, so I apologize for that, but I've just been extremely busy with school and other stuff, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. This has been on my mind for probably about a month, and yeah, so obviously I'm not like, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of Black Ops Cold War, as I know, like, most of you probably are. Like, you probably think the game is decent, which I think the game is decent. Like, I don't think it's as bad as Modern Warfare, honestly. But I mean, that's also debatable. Probably the more I play it, the more I'm gonna hate it. Let's just be honest. But let's just all agree on this, and this is just undeniable. Black Ops Cold War was rushed. So first of all, let's just, as we know, like, Call of Duty has been on the decline for the past how many years? Since Ghost, since Black Ops 2, it's been going downhill. It's like Black Ops 2 was the highest peak, like the peak of everything, peak of YouTube, peak of Call of Duty, everything. It was the peak of everything. And ever since then, everything's been going downhill further and further. And I mean, there have been like decent Call of Duty games during that time period, like Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare Remastered, if you count that. Infinite Warfare arguably was more of a polished up version of Black Ops 3, but we won't really get into that. That could be a whole other video. But yeah, basically my first point is, if it's taking these people to make good games like 3 years to make one game, and now that Sledgehammer and any other bozo group is out, so now you have Infinity Ward, who can't make a good game. Modern Warfare was absolutely terrible. The multiplayer, other than Warzone. I like Warzone. I will say that, I like Warzone. It's the only thing keeping me on Call of Duty, honestly. But that is pretty much the only reason that I'm even still on Call of Duty, because of Warzone, Plunder, and Battle Royale. So yeah, now they have 2 years to make a game. And clearly, that's just not gonna cut it. I mean, it took them to make 2 years for Black Ops 2, but I don't know what it is, but they just lost it. Like, these guys don't know how to make, they don't know how to make a good game anymore. I don't know what it is. Honestly, it's pretty much Activision ruining the games, but again, that's a whole other discussion. But basically, it's taking these guys 2 years to make a game. Like, they're being pushed and forced to make a game within 2 years, so it's already cutting in a year of their work. Like, they have to rush things, and that's the problem. They're rushed. The game, not only are we expecting a trash game, but now we have to expect an even worse game than before, because it not only is it going to be trash, but it's going to be rushed. So it's going to be even worse than it would be in 3 years. So that's a nightmare. And obviously with Cold War, the graphics just are weird, man. Like, I'm not a huge fan of, like, oh, the graphics look amazing, oh my god. No, like, especially with Call of Duty, if the game is good, it's good. I'll play it. Like, who the hell cared about graphics 10 years ago? Those were the glory days. I would play those games any day of the week over these games. But you just can't play the game anymore because they're just hacked. So yeah, because the game was rushed, my argument would be, after teasing MW2, well, not really teasing, but kind of teasing us. Like, they gave us the campaign for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Obviously, they gave us the campaign, which is like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I'm not crazy about it, but sure. But that led many of us to believe that they were gonna release the multiplayer, like, fairly recently within that time frame. But obviously, we never got it. It's been like months now. I don't know how many months. Like, what, 5 months? It was honestly a huge disappointment, especially to me, because I was really looking forward to it at the time. I mean, I was hooked on Modern Warfare Remastered again. Like, I was ready. I was getting ready for that, and we never got it. And I was, obviously, as many of us were, I was annoyed. And instead, we're getting Black Ops Cold War. Great, yeah, I mean, again, the multiplayer isn't great at all. I mean, I'll leave it at that. I'm being generous when I say it's not great at all. I could say much worse things, but I'm trying to be nice here. But honestly, I mean, the campaign will probably be cool. I will say, though, I think zombies are going to be really cool from what I've seen and heard. But I mean, if we're talking purely the multiplayer experience, then I'm sorry, but it's just gonna be trash. Like, it's gonna be full of the kangaroo bunny hop jumping, like, whatever you want to call it. The Skill-based matchmaking, once again, ruining the game. Literally every single game that I can remember playing on that, other than a select few. It's like when you first get on the game, it's like, okay, these kids aren't that good. Like, you can deal with it, you can play, and you can do well. But once you start playing more after like the first 2 or 3 games, it's like, wow, am I playing freaking Scump and these weirdo nerds? Like, what are we doing here? Why do I have to go against COD League champions every single freaking game? And that's the problem. Like, they're literally making you sweat just to have a good game, just to maintain a 1 KD. You have to sweat every single game, and I'm just like, no. And that's why I ditched the multiplayer in this game, because it's the same thing. But not only is the multiplayer horrible in this game, the skill-based matchmaking, and I'm talking about Modern Warfare now, but it's like the loud footsteps, it's just, in the map designs, it's like, dude, you literally have to hide everywhere. The game forces you to hide. You can't rush. Like, you go, oh, I rush, fine, yeah, what's your KD, 1? I mean, it's like, not that I care about KD, I'm not like one of those nerds, but it's like, literally, it seems like everyone finishes with around the same KD every game. It's just not the same. It's not how it used to be. But that's how they designed the game. That's the way they want it to be. So yeah, I mean, the Black Ops Cold War multiplayer is it's not gonna be good. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's like the beta. Oh, they're gonna add stuff. No, it's only the beta, dude. The beta basically is the game. Like, they're gonna tweak a few things, you know, but the beta is basically the full game. So if you're not enjoying the beta, which I mean, if you did enjoy it, great. But I know I sure as hell didn't enjoy the 6v6 multiplayer. But I will say I think the ground war, the combined arms, whatever the hell they call it now, I think it's okay. I think I could see myself playing it. But really what I liked was the what do you call it? The dirty bomb game. I really liked that. But then again, it's like one of those plunder type game modes in Warzone. It's probably going to be one of those Warzone game modes. And that's the only reason I'm playing Modern Warfare is for Warzone. So it's like, if it weren't for campaign and zombies, it's like, why even buy the game? Like, if you're playing this purely for multiplayer, I would not buy the game. I'm being totally honest. I wouldn't buy the game. I would just play Warzone if you like Warzone. So yeah, that's why I wish they would have released Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, the full game, like multiplayer, this year, so they would have had an extra year to work on Cold War, because Cold War is just not finished. It doesn't feel right. Like, the feel on the game is just weird. Like, it doesn't feel like a finished product to me. And I've been hearing that from a lot of people, so I know it's not just me. But that's just the feeling I get. And it would have been perfect, because like, literally, other than the kids who have just started playing Call of Duty, who wouldn't, even them, like, who the hell wouldn't like Modern Warfare 2? Like, who would not be hyped to play that for a year or longer? And then you won't get the people complaining that they can't play it because the old game is modded. And plus, it's like a weird year. Well, I'm not even referring to COVID, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of transitioning from the PS4 to the PS5. So that's also probably a factor in this. But who knows? Maybe they release it next year, because Infinity Ward, you know, they're gonna screw it up. I mean, it took them 3 years to make this crappy game, right? Modern Warfare. So I don't know. I mean, they did release Warzone, which is a huge success, and got to applaud them for that. I will say I enjoy it. It's the only thing keeping me on Call of Duty. But with that being said, the multiplayer it's just terrible. Like, you're not getting a good full experience. It's literally like the campaign. I like the campaign. It wasn't like fantastic or anything. I don't think it was anything special like the old ones, but it was good. I liked it. But the 6v6 is basically done. You can basically kiss that goodbye. You're never gonna have a good experience on 6v6 ever again. I mean, if you do, I honestly, I personally don't know how. I can't enjoy it. And this is coming from someone who used to play all the old CODs, like grinded them. But I mean, I know there's gonna be people like, oh, wouldn't it really be the real game on MW2? They would be changing things. Like, who the hell cares? MW2, while they change a few things, like the one-man army, which is not a bad thing at all. But I know they would change a few things. I know people were saying, there was rumors like they changed the game so much that they were afraid people wouldn't like it, which I think is complete BS because literally everyone was asking for it. But literally if they changed the game that badly, it would still be 100 times better than this game. Let's just be honest. And not only would we have MW2, we would have Warzone still. So it's like, it wouldn't matter. Like, oh, change the game all you want. How much can you really change it to the point where we just hate it? Like, I don't think it would be that bad at all. I think that's ridiculous. I think they just came up with that excuse because maybe they do want to release it later. But I just wish it was this year because Cold War is just not looking too great to me, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's why I think MW2 should have been released in 2020 rather than Cold War, basically to give Treyarch another year to work on Cold War. And Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, obviously it's been what, 4 years since we've gotten Modern Warfare Remastered, COD 4 Remastered, which was, I loved it, obviously. And I know they did add it on, like as like an add-on to an Infinite Warfare. But still, literally, if that game, they could have released that as a full game. They could have released MW2 as a full game, and they'd still be making billions off of us from just Warzone alone. But yeah, again, I don't know. They'll probably release it at some point because we all know they made it. I just think it should have been this year. But I mean, we could be getting it next year, because I honestly don't think Infinite Warfare is going to be making a good COD at all within like 2 years. So I just don't think it's going to happen. And if it took, again, one of the first points I made was if it took 3 years for them to make the Modern Warfare like this game, which still in my opinion isn't even finished, then what is the Call of Duty gonna look like by Infinite Warfare if they made it within 2 years? Like, that's scary. But yeah, guys, remember when you go to the polls, remember to vote MW2 2020. Tis BEEN WAN.